Hello, hello. Welcome to Luna and the Druid.
Half an hour late, but we're here.
Hopefully, we made it this time.
Oh, we did.
We
We did.
started our senior time, but there is some technical issues all over chaos today. But we're here,
It,
hopefully.
it definitely was chaos, wasn't it?
Oh
Terrible
my God.
storms and horrible, horrible storms. Everything going sideways. And but we're making it. We're doing it. And
Yes,
yeah,
we're live. I just double checked it. We're on.
we're
Yes.
on. Yes, yes. Perfect, perfect. Well, astrology already gave a sign today. Uh, you might know I post on my Facebook page Jan Tetero Taro and on my Jan Tetero Instagram I post a Sabian symbol every day. Sabian symbols, there are 360 for them, so there's practically one for every day. And today's symbol, I made a slide for you. Today's symbol was an unexpected thunderstorm. Well, although not totally unexpected, the results were quite unexpected. My home has been without power for over 26 hours, and just a few a few short hours before this show, it got restored. So let me tell you a bit about the symbol. The unexpected thunderstorm, it represents a sudden change or upheaval, the power of natural forces, and the unpredictable nature of life. It suggests a disruption, a power disruption, that brings about a new perspective or clears the air, symbolizing both the potential chaos and the cleansing aspects of such unexpected events. And then the image itself represents in the heart of the hidden realm, the thunderstorm roars, a clash of elements and courage, where heroes and the heavens meet. The Sabian symbol for Aquarius too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Today's
Thank
day.
you for sharing.
Yeah, and it's so when I posted it, I think it's so on it was so on point with the situation we were in. We were in the storm. We were without power. Where we were in the dark yesterday, dining with candlelight, no oven dishes, cooking on cooking on the stove and cooking on gas again. But we made it.
Lovely romantic dinner.
We weathered it. We weathered the storm. So yes, another 9 days, Luna, and we head into February, and that's a specific time in the wheel of the year.
Very. We're coming close for the wheel to turn into another period.
Yes, it's named after the Irish Irish translation of the month of February. Yeah, where is she? Where's the star of our show?
Barking on the couch.
Okay. Yeah, so we're heading towards February, and in the Irish language, the month February is called Imbolc. Imbolc. Imbolc, you would say, but it's Imbolc. You don't pronounce the B. And yeah, it represents, for me, it represents the end of winter, the coming of the messenger of the coming of spring. What would you say about that?
Yes, absolutely. There is transition between the winter period into the springtime because we are already halfway there. So it's the two, as you said, transformation. That would be and transition. That would be the two words I would connect. Talking about Imbolc. So yeah, of course, number two has significance impact. You said that that's the meaning as well, but we're moving into February, and I really love this time of the year. It's the time for me when I still am not fully immersed out of my hermit mode. It's usually the period of time when I read a lot of books, and then this new wisdom I gain, it's just has a little bit of time to start to manifest in my physical realm. So lovely and wonderful time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we see it in as Druids. We live with what we see outside, what we see nature, and we see the snowdrops. We see the old daffodil is already coming up. The fields are turning yellow. No leaves on the trees yet. We're still doing with the perennials and the hollies. The holly that's still green, and of course the pine trees and everything still green. But the broadleaf still waiting for the end of winter and trying to get out. Um, we have, of course, end of winter, the water starts flowing. We had a bit of a frost time, so ice. And now especially I live in the mountains. Everywhere from the mountain, the waters are flowing down, and yeah, it really is like nature is just urging to awaken. Hello,
And here's our star wanting
there
to
we
say
have
hi.
our little star.
I think she wants to have a nap, so I'll allow her to do that. I think what's worth mentioning as well, especially that we're in Ireland, Imbolc is connected with Brigid. Brigid is very important in uh, Irish culture, I suppose Celtic as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but she deserves an entire episode about her and about connection. So next week we have a treat. Maybe we'll talk about it later. However, next one will actually be on Brigid State. So we're gonna make this episode all about Brigid. We're gonna have a wonderful guest. Uh, I'll share maybe later more.
More about our wonderful guest for next year. But we're now today. Maybe we'll touch a bit about Bridget, because we're also talking about the High Priestess card today. And to me, the High Priestess is very much connected to Bridget, as she represents two female archetypes in my perception. She represents the young adult, and maybe especially the feminine side of the young adult. The next life phase after young adult would be, you would call, the caring and the mother archetype. So the maiden and the mother and the crone. And Bridget is especially, for me, especially connected to the maiden and the crone, and not so much as the mother archetype. In old days, they would connect Bridget with Mary, the Virgin. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say the Virgin anymore. For me, it's more the if you're a high priestess all your life, it's because you skipped the mother period. It's for the women who don't become a mother, so who become a carer for something else, and they maintain their high priest role all through their life. And
Well, we'll definitely ask about it, Julie, our guest,
yeah,
special guest for the next week, Julie Embleton.
yeah.
She's very, as far as I know, she's very connected with Brigid. So I'm looking forward for that conversation.
Oh, me too.
Uh,
Yeah,
and yes, we'll see where she stands with which card represents Brigid. I'm in between because for me there is some of the aspects of High Priestess, absolutely,
of
but
course.
some of the aspects of the Empress as well. So that's going to
Yeah.
be an interesting
Yeah.
discussion for sure.
Yeah, I always love to work with correspondences, like elemental correspondences, planetary correspondences, or numerology. And the High Priestess, of course, is card number 2. Imbolc is month number 2. Boom. My
Makes sense. Absolutely sense.
So in that perspective, I would go that direction. And but yeah, Imbolc as a festival has been celebrated for ages. We still have in Ireland big pockets of places where it's celebrated. I would definitely go talk about the town of Killorglin in South Kerry, where in August, the most known festival in Ireland, the Puck Fair, is held. And now, exactly 6 months later, in Kilorglin we have Biddy's Day, and Biddy's Day is a day where the people get dressed up, straw hats on, white robes, straw robes, and they go from door to door, wake up the people that it's time. The time of spring is coming, and it's the time of celebration. So especially this town is then completely transformed into Biddy's town, and the whole town, there's lights, there's fires in the square, in the village square, and there's hundreds of people participating in this ceremony in honor of the start of spring, half a year before they have their big summer harvest festival.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. I didn't know about this one.
Yeah, it's very well known. If you look it up, Biddy's Day Kilorglin on Google or whatever, you'll find these lovely images of people going through the streets and that. And there you have uh, the thing that Imbolc and Imbolc, when Christianity came, was more or less uh, moved aside a bit. Uh, Brigid was was taken into Christianity, so she transformed from a goddess into a saint. Saint Brigid of Kildare is very well known, and now in recent times we have this revival. We as people not necessarily believing in the modern religions like Christianity and things like that, we're looking for more of for a connection to nature, and we start celebrating the Wheel of the Year.
Um,
And Imbolc is the big start, the big end, or the of course the big start is midwinter when the light returns, and now the light is growing, it's gaining power, and yeah, it's the harbinger of spring.
would you say that it's time of renewal as well?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
'Cause
Of course, if you look at the rituals you can do, like the personal rituals, there are a lot about renewal. But what are your views on that, Luna?
Well, for me, because we're going into a period that the nature starts to wake up from the darkness, from being asleep, from the period of being almost dead. I see it as renewal. So for me, one of the most important part is using fire and lighting candles, just to bring more light, just to connect with the energy of fire. Spring cleaning, that's a must. Especially that its Imbolc will be around full moon time. So it's always good to do some clearing and cleansing around the full moon because it helps to release. So the spring cleaning would be good. In my environment, so my house, but also thoughts, feelings, things which I don't resonate with, they all need to go. And I said, and I plant seeds of intention as well. For me, because everything is slowly coming back to life, for me personally, that's a good time to set intentions.
Yeah, and of course the thing is the what you will see in the rituals when you do a solo ritual, for instance, having a bath or a shower, cleansing yourself, cleansing your house, even a pre-spring cleaning, uh, are part of the rituals, and then decorating your house again, out with the Christmas decoration, in with the white flowers, in with some lovely white candles, uh, in with the bridges crosses because they represent it. Hopefully self-made, or if you don't make them yourself, that's good as well. But if you can find rushes and you can find the manuals of creating your bridges cross online, always do. It's a good thing. Um, Bridget crosses, and there, of course, there's also it's called the Bridget's cloth, which is a piece of green fabric you would cut out and keep with you in this time, and then after Imbolc festivals, you bury it or put it away, and with your intentions, so your intentions can grow.
interesting that you said green because I heard about this, but with the red piece of material. So it's amazing how the culture is mixed with the druids, and
Oh,
some things
definitely.
are
Yeah.
similar, some things are the same, but some things will be different. But I've heard about this as well. My friend, she is very connected with Brigid as well. She tried to teach me how to make my own Celtic cross, the Brigid's and Brigid's cross, but unfortunately, I'm not so manual and I failed. Or maybe I'll give it a try this year. Who knows?
Oh, do. And whether you use red, white, or green, it doesn't really matter. It's uh, about working with it, keeping it with you, putting your intentions in, and then transforming it or tuck it away for a year and get it back for the next period. That's all part of the possibilities there are. But renewal, transformation, yeah, that's all about Bridget. Um, so, if you want to know more about how to celebrate Bridget, um, there is a free course in my own Druid Grove, the Grove of Anu, where if you sign up there as a friend of the Grove, you get access to this course. The course is called Wheel of the Year, and um, and it will give you uh, every 8 weeks or so, every festival of the year, will give you a complete manual how to celebrate the festivals at home. And every when Imbolc is gone, the festival for the next equinox is the spring equinox will be put online, and you can work to learn towards that. So all the 8 festivals will be treated throughout the year. It's completely free, so you have nothing to lose, and sign up there to enjoy that and to really deepen your connection with Imbolc and Bridget.
I signed up and it's absolutely worth. There is a lot of information, practical information, and definitely I recommend joining, especially that it's for free. It's not many
Mm.
things in this world are for free. And a group of Anu is sharing a lot of wisdom. So definitely.
We try. We
You
try.
know, you can see I'm always mixing up the direct link is there. Uh, you can go. Yes.
Same here. So when we talk about oh, when we talk about Imbolc and the full journey, we of course we talk about the High Priestess. There she is. I picked the High Priestess from the lovely Illuminati tarot, one of the most elaborate and colorful and interesting decks to work with. I gold gilded and there's a lovely book with the deck, but there's also a lovely book you can buy next to the deck extra by Kim Huggins, and it gives a lovely story about all of the cards, and especially the High Priestess gets a real big treat when you open up the episode of the High Priestess in the book. The first words that 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 strike you, the first words that you get is know yourself.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you know where that comes from.
Tell me.
It's supposed to be the the words that are on the gate of the Delphi Oracle in Greece.
Hmm.
So it's
Interesting.
it's it's ancient. It was that the priestesses of the Delphi Oracle would would teach you to go inwards.
Yes. And the high
Ask,
priestess is all about going inwards and
yeah,
turning
yeah,
within.
yeah. Especially if you compare it with how complete the couple are. Last week's magician. The last week magician is about talking, hearing, manifesting, outward, outward manifesting, creating, uh, mastering, and then we have this high priestess. Um, Yeah, I would say, do you have her from from the Light Seers Tarot with the eyes closed? And,
Yes.
yeah, I also often see cards, High Priestess cards, where even she has her finger to her mouth and it's going inwards. Do not speak, but find the answers within. The knowledge is in you. You don't have to find it outside. And big her big correspondence, again, I like to talk about correspondences, is that she rules the moon, and that's what we see in all her cards, that she has the triple moon above her head. And yeah, there you have it, the full moon in the middle, and left and right the crescent moons. Yeah,
I
that
love High
starts to,
Priestess. That's
yeah,
probably, well, I can't say that there is one particular card, my favorite card, because there's plenty of them, but High Priestess is very close to my heart.
yeah,
The energy is very deep, the energy is very spiritual, because it's all about connecting with the spirit, our own spirituality, with the soul, as well as connecting to the divine. This vortex here, that's the energy, the alignment with the universal energy.
yeah. Yeah, and she's talking about the inner wisdom that is already there. And in most cards, and also in this one, she holds the Torah, which is the book of the tarot. Yeah, and sometimes she holds it to herself because there are secrets that uh, you'll have to find yourself. Yeah, there you have one too, your own secrets, and there are secrets that will reveal to you from books of knowledge. And many cards, she holds the book close to herself, so you can't read it. And sometimes she would give you some of it, and she says, "Yeah, go find the answers within." When you draw the High Priestess in a reading, what would you say was the meaning?
It depends on the cards and it depends on the reading, but the first thing which comes to me is intuition, listening to the voice within, listening to the wisdom within, spiritual growth at the need of actually acknowledging the spiritual side. Right? I will put it this way: the need of connecting to the divine, connecting to the energy, wisdom, of course, wisdom, deep ancient wisdom as well.
Yeah, yeah. But I always say, especially when I have someone who is on a on a phase their lives that they are the fool, that they are starting again. They say, I'm so stuck here in my life, and I really, I'm ready to move on, or I just divorced, or uh, I have had an empty nest. Or maybe if you're younger, you're 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 in this, you're at rock bottom, a burnout, and end of study, and you don't know where to go, and you pull the High Priestess. What is she saying? She says, develop yourself, do work on your spiritual growth, work on your work on finding the truth within. um, it's the advice she gives to all the seekers of wisdom. Go find it out, go find the answer, either
Yes.
with help or without help.
What happens? Obviously, I'm not surprised that my camera is not auto focusing, but today nothing will surprise me anymore. What happens when we close our eyes, when we can't see, when we lose our sight? All other senses get more heightened and sharpened. So she's able to listen to her inner voice because she can't see. She has to focus on a different source of information flowing into her. Um, so for me, it's always listening to the voice, the inner voice, listening to what your intuition wants to tell you, what what sometimes higher self, sometimes the divine will speak through High Priestess.
Yeah, No, that's so true. And what's funny, by the way, that she rules the moon,
That's the representation of feminine energy.
feminine energy, and she's connected on a planetary level. Um, to which one? No, she's to the moon. Yeah, on a planetary level to the moon. But the moon card itself is then connected back to Aquarius, which is now.
Interesting. That's I never thought about this like this.
I always try to make these connections. Like, so you go far away. You go from card 2 to card 18, and then you find the the the, the, the
What
star
about
sign of Aquarius again. So she's also connected to Aquarius through her lunar attributes, uh, her lunar correspondences.
yes. I'm looking at this beautiful card, and I see those white and black kind of poles or towers.
Yeah,
This is another strong symbol as well, because High
yeah,
Priestess mm, can also, especially when she comes out in reverse, can mean the need of acknowledging the dark side within us as well, or lack of intuition, a block. So, yeah, I'm really loving the image you have on that table over there.
yeah. And it's by the way, it's exactly the same pillars that are on many tarot decks, and they're the B
And
is
Jay,
for the J, yeah, the J
can
is
you remember
for
what it
strength,
stands for?
yeah, I have it here. It's one is for strength and the one is for manifestation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. And they're the pillars of the Temple of Solomon. That's the temple of wisdom that you rebuild when you connect to the High Priestess.
Mm. I am just checking because, guys, as you if you've been watching us, you know that I've been recently been giving this beautiful star tarot deck, and I'm still connecting with it, and I love just to take the guidebook and just look if there is anything I haven't known before. Yeah, it's lovely. So if I'll find something interesting, obviously I'll share. And I just was trying to see if there is anything more about the letters,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I have it here. Pillar B is called Boaz
Boas. Oh.
and meaning strength, and the J is Jachin, and that's established. And the full as a seeker of wisdom has to um, has to pass the high priestess to enter the temple of Solomon and the mysteries they find therein. So
What
the
I love
initiation,
about, go ahead, sorry.
yeah, the initiation is about death and rebirth. So again, yeah. What do you love?
What I love about our conversation is that obviously I learned so much, but it shows me how sometimes things get rusty, and it just makes me want to go deeper within a card because there is so many different aspects and different ways we can look at the card. So I'm absolutely enjoying it. If there is any tarot reader with us, please feel free to share in the comments what is your interpretation of High Priestess? What do you feel and how do you feel about High Priestess? I love those conversations because every tarot reader, maybe not every, but many of us will have their own interpretation as well, their own
No,
connections, because that's what tarot is about. It has a certain meaning, but then the way you read it, it's all about using your intuition.
that's all about it. And the high priestess is especially pointing to intuition, which is her main keyword. So know yourself, go within, and intuition is of course is finding the answers within. without always remembering them. You know,
Mhm.
the good the difficult thing many people experience when they read the tarot is to remember the card meanings, and you don't have to remember them all. Oftentimes, especially when you work with one deck, you know all the nooks and crannies, all the little details of all the cards. You know their meanings, and you can tell a story about them, and the cards tell the story themselves, especially the beautiful the beautiful decorated decks as this one is. Um, it's a story within itself.
Oh my goodness, this is absolutely fabulous. Her fabric, there's so many symbols. I,
Yeah.
I, it's interesting. I don't have that deck.
Well,
That needs to change.
everything can change. It's a mass market deck. It's a Los Carabeo deck, so it's widely available,
Mhm.
and it's called the Tarot Illuminati. And yeah, you can buy it anywhere in every good holistic shop. In Dervish shop and stuff like that in Cork and Dublin, you will find it, and it's yeah, and it's lovely to work with. It's one that goes on my journeys all the time, and I don't pull it as much as my favorite deck, which is the Thoth, of course, and I read with the Thoth all day. But sometimes I see someone, and I think, okay, yeah, you're an Illuminati person, and I'll take that out.
It's amazing how intuition, speaking of High Priestess intuition, it has a key meaning in reading for clients. Because I
Oh,
often, before I can even connect with clients, I go to my shelf and I ask my cards who is going with me today. And it's amazing how it works that I can actually pick a certain deck. And in the reading, it turns out that this is exactly what the message was needed to be heard, and if I would use a different deck, that thing wouldn't come out. We wouldn't get there. So it's amazing how the intuition is the leader, and if you follow that voice, oh my goodness, you will get to gold and bounty, sometimes lessons as well,
of course.
especially those heavier and harder. But I always say that their lessons are just blessings in disguise, the hard lessons. But yes, follow your intuition in anything, especially in the work of divination, is the key. And
Yeah,
I believe that's why tarot readers are so connected to High Priestess.
yeah, yeah.
Jan, so what's the fool can learn from High Priestess?
Yeah, I pointed to it already. The fool can learn from a high priestess that it's not always talk, and it's not always manifesting yourself, but sometimes take a waiting approach to things. Or when you enter a room full of new people, don't act like don't act like the fool or the clown or the harlequin or whatever. Observe the room in silence. You will obviously notice that within shortly you will be approached. If you don't approach people yourself, there's always other people saying, "Who is that? What are you? Why are you here? What are you doing?" And then, of course, then you can give an answer. But there's a power in being silent, a power in being mysterious. You know that it's you don't have to manifest yourself as as someone who knows all the answers and who but radiate wisdom. That's what the fool learns, and finding the answers in themselves, in herself, in himself. And the fool is not a man, not a woman. The fool can be anything, can be any sort. Uh, is this a man or a woman? Would you know?
Usually, I see the image of the man.
Yeah.
However, different decks have a woman.
Yeah, well,
So
this is the classic deck. This is the Rider Waite, and he's wearing a tunic or a dress or a skirt or whatever.
yes, I never noticed that before actually, that you can't tell 100%.
No,
Uh,
no.
and, and that's the thing that everyone.
Yeah,
We have to start somewhere. There is something going on, technical issues as well. Can you still hear me?
you were mute. You were going down. Your sound was going
Yes,
down for a while, and but
I,
it's back
I
again.
noticed that. Am I back?
Okay.
Am I
Well,
back?
yeah, you're back, and you're gone again. Now you're muted.
I think I'm back, aren't
Yeah, you are. I hear you again.
I? Lovely, lovely. I love those live streams because we never know what's going to happen. Where I live, I'm pretty dependent on the forces of nature. And when there is a storm or even stronger wind, I get affected. But my internet connection gets affected. So if I'm pixelated a little bit, now you know why.
Yeah, and it's like what we saw in the Sabian symbol of the day, that this this weather, that more or less that challenges us. It brings on new perspectives. It brings on new, and we have to face it like the heroes that were there. We're all heroes, and you know things happen all the time in life. Expected things, unexpected things. Um, Look for the serendipities. Did let me tell you what happened, for instance, on Saturday. I post my Sabian symbol always on the day itself. And I posted my one for Saturday, and later on the day I thought, why not post the one for tomorrow? I don't know what tomorrow might bring. Just by by intuition, the high priestess told me you should post your symbol today, and boom, I posted it. And the time I would normally post on Sunday, my power was gone, and I live in a remote location, so I can't depend on 4G or whatever. So I can't take out my phone and post my Instagram message and my Facebook message. Uh, and it was done Saturday and Sunday, and Monday. I knew I would be what I could be out and do it whenever. So yeah, intuition.
Exactly, intuition. And it's amazing that it all happens around High Priestess card.
That's
Uh,
it.
I have a different question which came to my mind. Uh, Gemini's curiosity, obviously, but could High Priestess learn something from the Fool?
Hmm. Interesting question. Um,
Thank you.
obvious answer. Obvious answer. There's nobody and nothing that can't learn something from someone else. And the fool, of course, the high priestess, this introverted, wise, silent person, she could learn to come out of her comfort zone, and to and even this silence can sometimes be used for, yeah, for less than the general good, so the high priestess can learn to not to go too deep within, that not becoming a hermit. We have a hermit, that's another function. her function her function is to open up the wisdom, and sometimes becoming too close, too deep within, you forget that. And the fool, of course, the fool knows no boundaries, knows. uh, the fool is free, the fool is awakening, the fool is investigative, the fool is the quintessential Gemini. Open, wide open.
And takes the leap of faith. And what is really important. Very often we hear our intuition, we acknowledge that, but we don't take action on what's that information or intuition tells us.
Oh yes.
And I
Oh yes.
think and I think that's what High Priestess could learn from the Fool, is to take the leap of faith and follow the intuition, not just listen to it, but just follow, take action. Would you agree?
100%. 100%. The indolence, the inertia that sometimes is there in this role. Yeah, that's when you take it too far. We're all complete people. We're all going through the phases, and that's, of course, it's a risk that when you focus too much on being the high priestess, or making it too much of your identity, identifying with a certain role, then you close off all the other roles that you have in your life, because that's also the story of the Fool's journey, that the Fool visits all the cards in the Major Arcana. Why? Because he or they represent all the character traits of all the cards. They're all within us.
That's so true.
Yeah, like the easy way of of showing this is the fourfold wheel of life. Like now, Imbolc and Midwinter together represent the birth and the youth. Then we have the adolescent and the young adult going towards the summer, and that's the so we have the maiden and the mabon, or the young lad. Now, after comes the mother and the warrior, female archetype, male archetype, mother and warrior. After that comes the chieftain as a male archetype, and the crone as a female archetype. And the third life phase, 40, 45 plus. And then later on, we have the wizard, the wise man, or the wise woman, the grandmother archetype. So especially, I love how in the female archetypes you have two high priestess roles and two empress roles, and they follow the life cycle is like spring, summer, autumn, and winter.
Absolutely.
And so the same force is the same things we have in the wheel of the year. We also have in the wheel of life: spring, summer, autumn, and winter.
Yes.
Each
Even
representing roughly 20 years of your life. I could say that the first one is maybe 15 years, and 15 to 30, you're the mother, 35, 40. And then when you're 40, someone will become 40 this year, becoming the crone, becoming the crone, the hag, and then after,
yes.
and run can last a long time, but it's really going to into adulthood. So Kron can be like 40 till 75, sometimes 80, and then the old wise grandmother archetype comes there. But the Kron archetype is the fighter, the is the high priestess manifesting.
Are you saying that I'm going to be more of a rebel than I am?
Oh, I hope so.
Holistic J says, I mainly use angel and oracle cards. On my angel cards, it says, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. That's exactly summarize what we've been talking here about with the High Priestess cards.
Yeah.
I love that. Consider carefully what you want before acting.
And the good thing of this last line is what you said. It's not only considering, act,
Following.
following up on your wisdom, following up on your ideas is as important as crafting them.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Magda says, you are such an inspiration. It's like our life. We are dealing with unexpected and going with the flow. And that's so true.
That's
Today,
perfect.
it was just all about going with the flow. Jan had at least few plan B, C, D with no power. And then we had to go with the flow because we made a plan, but it changed again because he got the power back so we could do it in our regular settings. So I suppose.
And the regular settings wouldn't work. It was and it was challenging, and there's a lot of lessons there for everyone. Um, there's a big lesson in Druidry, but I say it's a mix of Buddhism and Druidry. When your car breaks down or you have a flat tire on the road, what do you do? Do you get angry? Do you get do you get um,
Upset, for
upset?
example.
Yeah. And will you now you have a flat tire? Will you kick an extra dent in your car,
Yeah,
or
or
will you
become
just say,
totally hopeless.
yeah? And there's a lot of things. If you're as resourceful as me, you know there's a spare car in the boot. I know under my seat is the hinge, and I'll replace it and go home. If you don't, call someone, but don't. It's taking action, knowing to take action, but not get upset by the things that go wrong or that go other than you expected or hoped for. Be with it, and that doesn't mean be with it like whoo I'm I am with it and we'll see what happens. No, be with it first, and then from being with it, act.
Exactly. Exactly. Holistic Jay says, I love how deeply you go into the meanings of the cards and how they connect with other cards.
They do. A card, of course, that's the essence of card reading. The essence of card reading is connecting the cards together. When I put on a cross on the a Celtic cross on the table or 10 cards for the Tree of Life spread or something, I always like to tell them in the form of a story. This happens. This is what's holding you back. This is how you solve it. This is where it comes from, or where your influence comes from. The past. This is where your influence comes from. The higher spirits. These are your chances. These are your opportunities. These are your own worries and setbacks. And this is the outcome. And then and it's a format of a story. Every good spread you lay down has the format of a story, and the cards are just the words of the story. And there are unlimited combinations. So every reading has its own story.
Celtic cross is very precise because it takes you from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And I find Celtic cross great when we want to find answers. And obviously, but if we want
Yeah.
the truth, let's use tarot.
That's it. If we want the truth, use tarot. And especially when you get your cards read by a reader, by Luna or the Druid himself, always come prepared. Come with a question. And don't be afraid to share your thoughts along the road, because the cards, like we said, have a, an enormous amount of different meanings. Each card has layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and it all depends of the position. Who are the neighbors? Where does the story come from? And you more or less you tell the story together, and the cards give you insights. The cards tell you where to look for answers, often in yourself. Sometimes they advise you to look for help outside of yourself, or yeah, what yes. Sometimes a person says, just tell me what to do. I said, I can try. Tell me what to do, and the cards will tell you what to do. They will give an answer.
I'm trying to point in the right direction. So I'm Jan's link. Okay, I'll forget the direction. You can see on the screen Jan's website. I'll share mine in a second. But Jan, speaking of reading cards, soon
Yeah.
you will start a journey. Would you like to talk about that and share with our viewers when they actually can meet you in person?
Yeah. Well, on the same website there is a /events page, and it gives all the locations where I'll be. My tarot tour of 2024 starts on the 4th of February. I first go to Castle Bar in County Mayo. I think the second one is Carlow, and then I'll hop over to Cork, Galway, Limerick, north, south, east, west. We even had this year. We have one in Derry, close to
Oh,
Derry,
wow.
Northern Ireland. So the people from the north can see me as well. And and I call these tours. I call them my Irish tours, and that's something from my youth, from my younger years. I was a big fan of one of the greatest Irish blues singers, rock singers, and guitar players, Rory Gallagher. And when I was a young lad, he had an album out, Irish Tour '74. And this year, Gallagher is long gone. I think he died about 20 years ago. I'm doing Irish Tour 2024, 50 years later than his Irish tour, which I had the pleasure actually of visiting one of the concerts in that year. So, yeah.
What was significant to me that you said it starts on the 4th of 2nd, so 4/2/2024, so 4/2/24. So that's a mirroring. So that's an amazing day. It's like it's a portal itself.
It is. And the fours and the twos together. The twos are, of course, the choice, finding direction, and the fours represent stability, like the four or like of a
2 + 2 is 4.
yeah.
So amazing.
And I love it.
Please do like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
Yep.
Thank you so much for all the energy and time you put to be here with us. You can share our lives and our channel with those who you think it'll be interesting and helpful for. Thank you very much for your support. It means the world to us.
It does.
You can. Yes.
Yeah. Before we log out, I have one question from Jason. Holistic Jason, what are your favorite spreads, or do you change spreads beforehand depending on the client or your intuition? My number one spread, especially when I'm with the client, I don't know. My safe spread is always the Celtic cross. I know I can do spreads like a few dozen. I do spreads just one card after another and just tell a story from there. But the fail safe, a good question, a Celtic cross, you get all the answers.
And that's
and you?
That's my biggest inspiration, which came from you, because we had the conversation. I read cards like a High Priestess intuitively, so I usually just pull the cards and make the story out of it. However, Celtic Cross brings structure to a reading, and it's way easy to see the story. It's very precise, as I said, and I think I'm so fascinated with Celtic Cross because it's precise, and I love to give precise answers, which is not always easy because sometimes the meaning of a card or message which comes may be confusing even for me. Very often we can talk about something, we have no clue, but the client will know what I'm talking about. And you mentioned before that some people come and like, tell me what to do. I always say that I'm not here to make a decision for you. However, I can show you few outcomes of the situation, and based on that, you can make a decision. But it's very important to remember that cards are always the guidance, but the power is in your hands.
Definitely. I'm not going to take away your power. I'm not. I'm the road mark, but I'm not. I'm not carrying you there. I'm pointing you to the
like
solution.
A guardian angel who just shows the opportunities and enlightens very often.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, and with that question, Luna.
Sorry.
And with that question answered, with Jason's question answered, we have really come to the end of the show today.
Yes. Next week is going to be a very special one. We're going to have a guest, Julie Embleton. She's an author and tarot reader as well from Creative Souls Tarot. I can't wait to meet her and to have her as our guest. We're going to talk about Brigid. We're going to talk about tarot cards. So as you can see, I'm already doing my hands here because I'm so happy and I'm so excited for this. So we invite you to join us every Monday, 8 p.m., unless there is a storm.
Unless there's something preventing us.
And laugh about this day today, but yeah, it's what it proves to me is when you're persistent and if you want something, we can make it happen despite obstacles.
Of course.
How many obstacles did we have today? You had no power. I had no voice. We went twice live and it wasn't streaming to YouTube. So there was plenty of things going on which we had no control over. All we could do is surrender and try to find a different road and take a different approach. And here we are, an hour later.
Keep smiling.
Yes, exactly. And doing what we decided to do is to not give up, but try.
I love the words there, Luna. And I thank you so much for guiding us today, guided by Luna. I'll at the end I'll put up your website now because it's you're on.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you're looking for a reading online, guidedbyluna.com, you can book there. You can find her calendar there, and I'm sure she'll do a great job. And
I'll do my best. That's for sure.
And thanks for persisting, and thanks for making sure that everything came together half an hour later than we expected, and we're half an hour later when we log off again. And I really enjoyed talking to you again.
Patience.
Yeah, well, we made it.
It was such a pleasure, even despite all those difficult moments. It was a lovely night.
We got there, yeah. And we might, if we have time, we might do in the middle of the weekend an extra video, and if not, we'll see each other again next Monday. So thanks for watching all, and see you back next week for a new episode of Luna
and the Druid.
Here we are. Bye-bye.
Bye.